Hey, Dawn with TTST. I'm sitting down today with Coralee Zueff. We're going to be talking about the upcoming training event in March, what attendees can expect, and Coralee's deep rooted passion in all things automotive. Let's get into it. To get started, for the people who don't know, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do in the industry currently.
So I always like to say my story getting into the automotive industry is kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I had to try out a couple of different things before I found the right fit for me. So I was in high school and I was a car enthusiast already. I was the Dodge kid, that was the best brand ever. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was thinking about going into law, and then one day there is a poster on the door at school and it was for the Automotive Foundations program. So that's the beginning stages if you want to be a technician, and something clicked. I was like, aha, I should do that. And even if I don't end up being a technician forever, I'm still going to have so much valuable knowledge. So I signed up for that, and it was a great course. We did classroom in the morning and we worked in the shop in the afternoon. However, I found that, day after day of working on vehicles, things are cold and damp and quite heavy for me. So it was a little bit of a challenge. And being in your bay and trying to stay on task, you're not supposed to go talk to the people, next to you and everywhere, right? So I was like, okay, this is kind of like the porridge is too cold. So after that program, I was like, well, I know so much about vehicles, I should go and sell them. So I found a great dealership to take me on, a great mentor to show me the ropes and explain how everything works. And I love talking to people about what they needed on what kind of features they wanted their new vehicle to have, and finding one that worked within their budget. However, when I was going over the vehicle with them, I wanted to talk about the maintenance schedule and what to expect later on, potential repairs, how easily accessible things are under the hood. And people weren't too into that when they were buying a car. People who've been in the automotive industry know that customers should probably be aware of that, but I found they weren't too keen on learning about it right up front. So that was like the porridge is too hot. So next, I answered an ad for a parts person at a chain here in Canada called Canadian Tire, and that was the right fit. People would come in, plunk random parts down on the desk, not even knowing the name for them, and I'd be able to go find it for them, find them a part that worked with their budget, and that was the best fit. And I, again, worked with a great team, and the manager there was like, well, you're having so much fun and success in parts. How about trying service advising? And that was great. I could communicate with the customers, and then coming from a technical background, I knew exactly what was going on in the shop as well. So it was
Kind of
a
like
perfect
a,
fit for me.
yeah, jack of all trades. You kind of got to see behind all of the curtain.
That's right. There's so many different curtains, and I got to spend a bit of time behind them all.
And in our upcoming event, Texas Two Step Training that we're going to be hosting in March of 2026, you're going to be teaching a few training courses. What are those training courses going to be?
So the first one that I'll be doing is the Service Advisor Strong Start, and that's a new one that I've developed this past year because I found that uh, quite a few people who were attending trainings the previous year are coming from like a serving background, or maybe they're a family member that's trying to help out in the shop, and the owner, maybe doesn't have enough time or patience to show them the ropes. Or we have technicians who are coming into service advising as well, and they all have skills that they need to develop as well. So I've put together that course especially for all those people, and it'll complement all of the skills that they already have, and they're all going to be able to learn from one another's experience and share with the group as well. So I'm really looking forward to teaching that class for starters.
Fantastic. And then we have, I believe you're teaching two others as well, correct?
Yes. The other one is one of my favorites as well, is explaining diagnostics, repairs, and maintenance. And actually, I have a new book coming out on the subject the month of the Texas Two Step in March. So that's going to be exciting. This is going to be the second event that it's available live at. And that's a really fun one as well, because we get to do some group work. And again, everybody gets to share how they explain things, and we get to learn from one another as well. So not only everybody in the room gets to learn, and I get to pick up some few tips as well. And it's interesting how people in different areas explain things. And then we can all have more ways of explaining things in our toolbox, so to speak.
There you go. Yeah. Everyone may have different ways of doing things. And it's always nice with trainings like this to really, one, learn the information, but two, get to talk to trainers or other individuals to see how they're doing things and what works in their shops and what maybe doesn't work in their shop. So you're not wasting your time doing that as well.
For sure.
And this third class that you're teaching, if you want to tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so the third one is based on communication, and we've been talking about, in-person communication, we've been talking about phone, email, texting, and this one we're going to be introducing using AI as well as a source of communication and using it as a tool because I'm finding people are either using it way too much and relying on it too heavily, or they're scared of it and don't want to use it all. So, in this class, we're going to be talking about how to use AI as a tool and the proper amount to be using it, and even talking to your customers who might be coming in the shop and have asked, AI to diagnose their car for them, for example. So, how to all the topics surrounding AI. And we've developed a new curriculum for that these past few months as well because it seems like something is popping up with every new class that I'm teaching. Somebody's getting a customer that's using AI for something different as well.
Absolutely. So it's like, you went through your Goldilocks, too hot, too cold, just right, and now you're teaching them the Goldilocks of AI, figuring out that middle road, that sweet spot. That's awesome.
Yeah, it has so many great features to make our lives more simpler, but we're also being thrown different ways that our customers are using it, and we need to come up with ways to discuss it with them as well.
Absolutely. And we touched on this a little bit, but I want to circle back to it. You said you are currently working on, and it should be available at the event, your second book. Will you be bringing books for people to possibly obtain a copy?
Yes, I'll have that, and we'll see about getting you guys a link to maybe pre-order them as well, so we know exactly how many to bring. Because I'd hate to, bring too many or not enough. So gotta find the sweet spot. That'll be the
That
theme of
sweet
this,
spot.
finding the sweet spot there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's written to help service advisors explain things to customers, but it's also written in a way that if you have it sitting on, the waiting room coffee table, it's going to be a great coffee table book for a customer to pick up and read about why we need to bill out for diagnostics or why tires should be replaced after they're 10 years old or what is a wheel alignment, things like that. So it'd be a good book for both the advisors and the waiting room.
That's going to be super game changing for having that in your shop because you can set out that book and customers they're reading something in your lobby. So kind of cutting back on your amount of work that you have to do explaining, I think that's super valuable in and itself.
Hmm. Why is there more than one different color of coolant?
Oh, I wouldn't know as someone who gets my who's not a technician. I I wouldn't I didn't I wouldn't even know. I would assume
Hmm.
everything was oil color. I that's that's what I
Oh,
assume.
so we'll go into all colors of the rainbow in the book as well.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
so that's just a couple pages in there.
If somebody's on the fence where they're like, "Oh, I'm not sure if I should attend," or they're kind of in the fence on if they should attend a class or not, what would you say to them?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of different things I could say. Um, the first one being, in the past, I've had the attitude of, well, I know absolutely everything there is to know, right? What could they teach me? But I've completely done a 180 from that. I enjoy attending trainings, especially the technical ones, because I like to figure out what they're learning in the shop and the parts that they need, and then how that can help me as a service advisor know to have all these single use hardware or what goes into the job. So from that perspective I really enjoy it. um, and then another one too is if I'm attending training and I already know it, they're going to explain something a wee bit different. So there's always something I can take away and then also use it as positive reinforcement. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm doing the right thing. They're saying this the right thing. And I've been doing that all along. And, pat on the back for me. Or, sometimes things are done a little bit differently. So you can look at it something from a different angle or, hey, that's what the other shops in the neighborhood are doing. And that's kind of peculiar and I'll think about it and or at least know what other what they're discussing with customers or how they're approaching it as well.
There's plenty of room out there to learn and grow or figure out how to do things better.
And I find too with like the employee shortage as well. I don't know if it's here where I am or absolutely everywhere from what I can see on Facebook, but I think it's also a good way of qualifying, if you're an employee looking for a shop to work at, if that shop's investing on training, that's a green flag. If they're not keen on you going away for training, because I've been part of shops before where, I'm going away to training and conferences and I'm paying for it myself and they're like, well, we, absolutely can't spare you at all to go, help the industry and to grow more in the industry as well, then that'd be a red flag, so to speak. So if you're an employer looking for fabulous employees, having training as an option for them, letting them know that you support that, then you're going to find the best employees that suit with your culture. And if you're employee looking for a shop, then again, it's going to be a green flag.
And I did want to ask, with with this being called the Texas Two-Step Training, we talked about this a little bit, but for everybody else who may not know, do you know how to two-step?
I think I do. So when I get there, we'll find out if I actually do know how to two-step. Here in our school curriculum, you have to spend a week line dancing and square dancing and two-stepping in school. So we'll figure out if what is in our Canadian curriculum is actually how you guys do the two-step in Texas.
There we go. We'll have to get you a cowboy hat, some boots, and then we'll go boot scooting boogieing down
Ah,
at the
I got them.
stockyards.
I'll bring
Oh,
them.
there you go. Look, already prepared. You already know. So, Coralee, we're again talking about the Texas two-step training. We're super excited to have you come down, do a little two-stepping and a little Texas two-stepping. What other events do you have coming up?
Vision is a couple of weeks before the Texas Two Step, so I will be there with a class again around AI. And then my book is going to be released for the first time right at the end of that class. So it's going to be super exciting. We'll have copies available for pre-order. The link will be coming out soon with Vision, and then we'll be able to have the laptop hooked up so we can actually see what Amazon sales are happening live at the end of that class. So I'm super excited for that.
Yay, fantastic. And if somebody attends the training or even beforehand, they're like, hey, I really like what Coralee's got going on. How can they follow you or figure out what you've got going on?
So there's my website, CoraleeZueff.com, or if you find me on social media, I hang out on Facebook the most there. I always encourage people who have attended the class or, know me online. It's send me an invite to follow your shop as well, because I like to see what's going on in different areas as well.
Okay. For someone again who's not in the automotive industry, the cars I know are like Nissan, Ford, Dodge. The only kind of outside of the normal realm is like McLaren. Outside of that, I know nothing about cars. McLarens are cool. You kind of have to know what a McLaren is. But
Hmm.
tell me a little bit about the vehicle that you just said, because to me, I hear that and I think golf cart, and I that's probably not right.
Okay. So my car is a 2019 Volkswagen Golf R. It has a turbo, it's a six-speed manual transmission, and it's all-wheel drive. So I like to say that I don't only like work in automotive, it's not just a job for me. It's more like a lifestyle. I have hobbies based in automotive as well. So I like to take my car to the track about once a month. We have a track about 45 minutes from where I live. And they have open lapping days, so you get to drive the course as quickly as possible for 20-minute stints. And then we also have autocross, which is like a cone obstacle course that you drive through as quickly as possible without hitting cones. And it's like a timed event. So I enjoy doing that. And actually, last year at the Texas Two Step, it was really neat because we had one shop that came and one of the technicians in there had my car like a couple years older who also participates in autocross. So it was super cool to connect with them and other people in the industry who are passionate and have these hobbies as well, because it's not just a job. Things can get you down and the weather and parts don't arrive and like that can be discouraging, but at the end of the day when we're still super excited about the brand or about a car that we're putting together or our hobbies there, what keeps you revved up and energized and keep going and doing it over and over again and supporting the industry and making huge improvements.
When you come out to the Texas two-step training, make sure you bring those vehicles so we can take a look at them as well.
Yeah. Or if anybody's signing up for training and there's like an autocross event that's going on like before, during, or after, get in touch with me and message me because I would love to come out and take part or just observe. So make sure to let me know about that. That's number one. Put that at the front.
Well, you were telling me earlier about the driving on the ice. Would you take your own vehicle for that, or do they?
Yes, so I take my own as well.
Ooh, wow.
So actually here in Canada as well, we actually have autocross on ice. So it's like a frozen lake, and they'll measure the how frozen the lake is to be able to figure out if we can actually do the event or not. But they have racing on the ice and they have autocross on ice. And so I would really love to take my all-wheel drive car and participate in that. I did get signed up for it. It's very elite. You have to wake up at midnight to do the registration. And the one time I got registered, the lake wasn't frozen enough, so it got canceled. So looking forward to doing that one day.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Disney on ice, but it's autocross on ice.
There we go. Yeah, it's kind of like a dance, like it's an orchestra. I think about that when I'm driving my car sometimes.
There we
You
go.
know, stepping on the pedals. It's like doing a two-step.
Like doing a two-step. There you go.
Did John tell you how he got me involved in this?
I I don't
The
think
Texas
so.
two-step? That was kind of funny. So I was, yeah, on a family trip in Las Vegas. My daughter was competing in gymnastics there, and I get this, message from this Buckaroo Buckin' Bob like on my thing, and it's like, I gotta talk to you about something. You want to go to a training thing? And hadn't really like I've never met him before, haven't communicated much with him. I was like, and someone's like, okay, he's probably not a scammer person. I'll sure. Well, what's happening there? And it turns out one of the people that they had signed up to be an instructor ended up not being able to come, so they were kind of looking for a temporary person at the last minute there. So I was like, sure, I didn't make the first one in Houston, but I made the other three there. So that was fun, and they're a great group of people to travel around with. They made me feel so welcome. Actually, the first day that I landed, John picked me up. He's like, "We're going to get pedicures."
Really?
The first hour or two, they picked me up, went to the hotel. He's like, "Okay, we're going to get pedicures." I'm like, I thinking to myself, I'm like, I know I'm a girl. Is this like a way of him trying to make me feel welcome or something? So,
Knowing John,
yeah,
he
first,
probably just wanted a pedicure.
yeah, that's right. So the first afternoon meeting John, he picked me up, got me checked into the hotel, and took me for a pedicure.
There you go. That's that Southern hospitality right there.
Yes, for sure. So that was a an interesting one. But everybody who's attending the Texas Two Step, all of the trainers and John are super sweet and make me feel so welcome and part of the group as well. So I think I'm
Oh.
part of the group now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
hmm
Absolutely.